Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Not your dad, because he's at my house. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to another episode of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. We're going to call this one Thought Edition. And I'm going to bring out the thoughtiest and the prettiest girl that I know, my friend here at Hamburger Mary's, Landon Patterson. How are you, Landon?
I'm good, Heidi. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I am so excited to have you here. So please go ahead and just tell the people out there in the world, the few who may not know who you are, what you're about, how we know each other.
Sweet. Well, my name is Landon Patterson. I'm a server here at Hamburger Mary's. I've been serving here about, I think, 6 or 7 months. It's been quite a fun ride, and I have made a second family here. You guys may know me, may not, but I was the first transgender homecoming queen at my high school last year for 2015, 2016, and I did say trans.
Yes, honey.
That's just a little bit about me. I just feel, and with being trans, dating has been definitely different, and I've ran into a lot of crazy dudes, and I have a lot of good stories to tell, and I think I picked out a good one today.
Good. I am so excited. I'm so excited. So we met Landon. Landon actually came in for Sunday drag brunch with her family to celebrate, and Peter definitely knew who he was. My manager at the time knew who she was and was like, oh my gosh, she's here. Landon, she's the first transgender homecoming queen. She was on TV, we gotta talk to Landon. Well, Landon just had the best time, and we had the best time with her, and we took pictures with her, and me and Riri, and she was like, oh my God, I love this place. And we're like, you need to come in, you need to apply. You were so much fun right away. Like, we're kind of snotty here, we don't like people. I'm just kidding. No, but we're just all really good friends that we work with our friends, and we become friends, and we go out together and we hang out together. And Landon just seemed like a really cool person, and she wanted to be here. So when she came in to apply, I went back and got my boss. I was like, you have to talk to her, you have to interview her right now. And luckily, we made a spot for you, and now you're here.
I know, I was definitely really nervous, and I didn't really know what to expect, but you guys literally made me feel like family on day one.
No, because we're all thoughts, so you fit in perfectly.
I know, I fit in great. I mean, I feel like I've met a couple more people who are bigger thoughts than me, and that's crazy.
There's quite a few bigger thoughts than you. So question, tell us about where you're from, and just dating where you're from, or just boys where you're from, and how that experience was for you before you came in to the city and experienced all this life.
Yeah, so I am from Kansas City, Missouri, good old Missouri. Dating has definitely been really difficult, and I'm still learning. I am only 18 years old. I'm almost 19.
Me too, bitch. Me too.
So I'm like 5. But anyway, dating is definitely something I keep learning as I keep growing. But definitely as coming out as trans, it's been definitely different. I've definitely been exposed to more, like a lot more attention from guys, like as before I wasn't. So I definitely, Tinder's my best friend, basically. No, just kidding. But a bunch of other things. But I definitely run into like guys who are interested, but don't really know how to go about dating someone like me. They definitely they're either wanting to keep it a secret, or they want to show me off. It's very hard to find a middle, or you just find guys that are really creepy and just look at you as this fantasy, but I'm not. Well, I am, but not like that. So it's just been hard to find a guy who doesn't look at you like an object.
All right, so we know what Crazy Ex-Girlfriend's about. We're coming here to tell these crazy stories about our trade. So you're up, Landon. Tell us about your trade. Set up the story.
Okay. So little old innocent blonde me was just swiping through my Tinder feed as I normally do. And this was actually kind of recently. It wasn't too long ago, but yeah, so about 6 months back, 7 months, a while ago, I matched with this guy on Tinder. And we're gonna call this guy, we're gonna call him Chad. So I was going through my Tinder feed and I matched with Chad. And Chad, super hot, super cute. I didn't really know what to think about it. Like, I matched with people daily. So I was like, oh, it's just another dude. And we started messaging back and forth, like getting to know each other, flirting. And I really liked Chad. Like, Chad wasn't too sexual at first, which is very common on Tinder. But you can find love on Tinder, I feel like. 'Cause I actually had a boyfriend I met on Tinder, and that lasted a while. But this guy wasn't too sexual at first, very, just made me smile a lot. So I was like, I guess I will bless you with my number, like, so you can actually text me.
You are too much. You are the most.
So I gave Chad my number. I'm like, you should definitely text me. And so we started texting back and forth. And then Chad fell off the face of the planet. I got a boyfriend at the time over summer and never heard from Chad again until like this
So how long were
September.
you guys talking until you just didn't hear from him again?
It was this Chad guy, this is his thing. And the story gets way, way, way better, it doesn't end here. But Chad was just chatting me, let's hang out. And I'd be like, okay, let's hang out. Like, let's
Wouldn't
meet.
want to hang out?
And then be like, oh, something came up. Or just not reply. I'm like, I cannot handle this flakiness. This is not cute. No frosted flakes. But anyway, so this boy, so we take this big break. I get a boyfriend, so I'm like, I delete my Tinder because I'm a good girl. When I had a boyfriend, so I deleted it. And I wasn't talking to anybody or whatever. And so when I became single around September, fucking Chad appeared out of the woodwork trying to hang out with me again. I'm like, okay, Chad, you're back. And so Chad is like, let's hang out, like we need to meet. And I'm like, if you
She's been a good girl and deleted her Tinder, but I guess
like,
in person.
if you insist,
we're
I'll go
just
back to my
friends.
old ways.
It's just lunch.
It's just lunch. It's good lunch. So anyway, I finally give Chad a chance, and I'm like, okay, let's hang out. And Chad followed through. So one night, I don't know, I didn't have school. Actually, it was like a school night, actually. I think I had school the next morning. I'm a rebel. And so I go over to Chad's house to meet Chad to like...
Wait, I forget you're 18, so you're like on Tinder as a teenager. Just to point that out. Okay, go ahead.
You can be 18. It's okay. People still want me, so it's fine.
You do you, girl, do you.
I'm young. Oh, never mind. I don't know this thing. But anyway, so I go over to Chad's house, and we're, you know, just Netflix and chill. But we didn't chill like that way.
You just actually chilled. You actually kicked it?
Yeah, we actually chilled. And so I'm watching this. Who knows what we're watching? So I'm watching whatever with Chad. I meet him. Freaking, let me just describe Chad to you. 6'2", muscles, super freaking hot. I'm like, okay, Chad, like you were really, really cute. So I'm like, I'm feeling you. So we're watching this movie. So we click, whatever. And then things lead to another. And like I'm kissing Chad, whatever. And I like noticed something really weird about him. Like his jaw was like chattering, but I was just like letting it slide past me.
Like he was cold? Like
Yes.
he was cold and
Like
you're just
when
like kissing
cold,
while you're
when like cold. Like,
That sounds dangerous.
outside,
You're
so
gonna
I'm
bite
like-
your lip.
Yeah, so I'm like kissing this dude, and I'm like, why is his jaw chattering? And then, so, whatever, things, and obviously Chad, like, he gets, like, excited, like any other boy would.
Obviously.
So he gets a little excited, whatever, but, and because I was like, his jaw was chattering, but so I'm like letting it slide past me. I'm like, why is this guy's jaw chattering? This is our first time meeting. First impressions are everything, you know? Like, I don't just go on these dates to just like do stuff. I'm like, maybe something will spring about. So I'm like looking for it, but this guy's jaw is chattering. I'm like, this is weird. He's like really sweaty. I'm like, why is he sweating so hard? Like, we're not being crazy or doing anything too wild.
It's either chattering and he's sweaty.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay. And later, like, so then we're like about to do stuff, like not have sex, but like things happen, and he like, Chad's friend is like not cooperating, like it's not working, like an old man, like it would not work. And he's like, okay, I have to be honest with you. And I'm like, oh my God, what the hell, I'm scared. And he's like, so I was like really nervous for you to come over, and I took Molly, like hoping it would like make things more exciting. And I was like, huh? And me, I don't know anything about drugs, so I'm just like, popped a Molly, I'm sweating, like the song. So I'm just thinking, I'm like, okay. And he was like, yeah, I guess it backfired and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so is that why you're like
If you
chattering?
take a Molly, you need to take a Viagra afterwards too, because things just don't work. Like,
Yeah, I guess Chad didn't know that. So Chad was over here freaking incompetent, and I'm just like grossed out because I'm like, okay, so now you gotta take drugs to hang out with me? That's so rude.
Or you could take it as a compliment. It's really cute that he was so nervous he needed extra courage.
Yeah, so then I took it as that and it's like, whatever. I was like, he's really hot, so I'm gonna let it slide.
Right.
So that's strike number 1 for Chad.
Oh, there's more
Weird.
strikes, Chad.
And so, okay, 2 days later, Chad is like, I can't see you anymore. After like I'm leaving, he's like, I had the best time with you. I want to see you more. Like, I'm really into you. I didn't think this would happen. But then he's telling me, or then Chad's telling me, oh, I don't know anymore. Like trying to cut me off like out of the blue. And I'm just kind of like, I do the cutting off, not you. So this is very rude. Like, so I'm just like kind of hurt by it.
Young, pretty people aren't used to rejection.
I'm like, no, I'm not getting rejected. Ew. And so Chad is like telling me he doesn't want to see me anymore, and I'm just kind of like, why? Like, I was being like, don't do this, ladies. If a dude wants to cut you off, let the motherfucking cut you off. Do not beg for nobody. Know your worth. So I'm like, oh my God, like I'm sad. Like I kind of liked you too, even though I should be like this fucking Molly poppin'. Oh, anyway. So whatever. We keep going, and I convinced him to stay because it wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard. So he stays. We go on a couple more dates, like we're seeing each other, and like I said, Chad is really hot, like arms bigger than my thighs, he is really tall.
Everything said that she should cut him off, but he's really hot. That's what we call dickmatized. She isn't dickmatized at this point. I'm just saying, I let a lot of personality flaws slide for a hot dude.
Okay, and so I'm like trying to go on dates with him, but Chad's still very weird, very bipolar. I'm like, what has this guy like gone through? Like he's kind of freaking like crazy. And so he's like, baby, I'm gonna take you out to Cheesecake Factory. I'm like, oh my God, Cheesecake Factory. That's like a big deal. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just saying, if you have to make a reservation, that's fancy.
Right, and so I'm like, okay, cheesecake, like I could do it because your girl can eat. So I was super excited for this date. And so, unfortunately, I had a funeral the day of our date, like the morning of, and he knew that. Like, he kind of knew, like, I was going through a lot, and I have this funeral. And I start to see him, or, like, I'm really excited for this date at the end of the day. I'm like, oh, I've had, like, a really shitty day. I really want to go on this date.
And I want cheesecake.
And I want cheesecake really badly, like, hello. And so I get home, and let me tell you, I was looking busted because of the funeral. Like, I've been crying. I didn't look that cute. So I'm going home, getting glam as hell, trying to look gorgeous for this dude because he hasn't seen me like dress up yet. This is like date number like 3, but a legit date. I get really dressed really nicely, pretty. I got my freaking weave in, my lashes are on, my dress is on, I'm ready to go. And I get a text from him, I'm about to pull up. And since we had we had this funeral, so we have a lot of family there and all these cars, so he pulls up, he calls me and I'm getting ready, like putting my last stroke of mascara on. And he's like, okay, I'm about to pull up, like, why are these cars here? I'm like, oh, it's just family from the funeral, like they're about to leave. He's like, okay, hangs up. And so I'm just waiting like for him to come to the door. Never came to the door. On the day of my mother freaking funeral of a family member, didn't come to the door, left. He drove off.
Listen, first of all, it is never acceptable to drive up to a lady's house and honk your horn and expect her to walk out to you. That is gross.
Yeah, so I'm like pissed. I'm like in tears, and my sister and my mom are about to go eat dinner, and I told them like, oh no, I don't want to go because like I'm about to go on this date. So they're like, oh, okay, bye, and they leave, and I didn't tell them that I got like pretty much stood up and abandoned like a freaking puppy in a pound. I was so sad, and so I'm just like,
so what does he say? Do you text him? And,
yeah, I'm like blowing his phone up, like, what are you doing? What is happening? Like, did I do something? No response. Just not replying to me, and I'm like, okay, Chad, this is fucked up. And so I call my best friend crying. She worked at Hooters at the time. She's like, come on, girl, I'll give you a date. So I just go and eat Hooters wings with my BFF.
Fuck yeah.
And she's like, fuck this dude, you don't need him. I tell my friends this story, they're like, you don't need him. And I'm like, yeah, I don't fucking need him.
But then he texts back.
Chad texts me 2 days later, or the day after, who fucking knows, and hits me, I'm sorry, I know it was wrong. I shouldn't have done that to you. Like, I'm such a dick. Like, I should not have done that. And I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. And he's like, I'm sorry. He's like, I've been hurt in the past by girls, and I've gotten my heart ripped out and seeing your
That's all what he said. Okay, continue.
yeah, and he's like, seeing your family just scared me because I want them to like me, and it made me think things were gonna get serious.
This is the first real date. Like, you weren't gonna stick around and meet mom.
I
You were gonna
know.
come to the door, say, hey, are you ready? Yes, and we were gonna leave.
Yes.
I didn't ask you to come in and have dinner or drinks before dinner with
I
my
know.
family.
Like,
I'm not whipping out baby pictures, like, but me, like, he's telling me this, I'm like, oh my God. I'm falling for the wounded soldier story. I'm like, oh my God, it's fine. Like, I'll take you back. It's cool. Like, keep kissing my ass. It's fine. Like, I want you back, Chad. Like, it's okay. And like, mind you, like, he knows like the real tea. Like, he knows I'm trans, and that's like, and he's like okay with it. And like, he's this like macho, like straight dude, and just totally okay with it. And it's just like, I'm like mesmerized, like yay, somebody is like actually doesn't care, like makes me just feel like any other girl. So he tells me his sad story. I take him back, and so we like continue to see each
Few
other.
years older than 18, so I've been through this and with these douchebags.
Oh my God.
So get all of this out of your system now so
know.
you can get to the good ones.
And one day I was at Starbucks, like we were getting ready to meet up after this big fight. He comes in, and my friend just so coincidentally had to shows up, sits next to me while I'm waiting for Chad. We're just talking, and Chad walks in and sees my friend and immediately turns around. And I'm like, where are you going? And I'm like running after him. And mind you, this was like a series of stories because it all led up to his explosion. So I'm like chasing after him. I'm like, why are you turning around? Because he saw I was with my friend and I was confused. Chasing after him in the Starbucks parking lot like some crazy bitch. Like, where are you going? He's like, no, don't talk to me. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, what are you doing? And so he gets in his car. He's like, you didn't tell me you had someone with you. And I was like, my friend literally just got here. And he's like flipping out. And I'm like, fuck you, like goodbye, I do not need this. Turns around, leaves, drives off, and I'm just so confused at why he was mad my friend was there. He's like, I'm in sweats right now, I don't look right. Just acting crazy, per usual. And then continues calling me the C word, like, and you're a man, you're a linebacker, you're disgusting, you have hairier arms than me, you could probably beat me up. And I'm like, yeah, I probably could. No, just kidding. And so I'm just like, getting yelled at, and I'm like really hurt at this point. Like, you don't just call girls the C word. You don't call me a man, which is funny because like we've been seeing each other for a while. So I'm like, we've been doing stuff. So you weren't saying anything earlier.
Ladies, you do not have time for men with fragile masculinity. We just do not have time for that.
So we're just chilling. Like, so we have that big explosion, and he's like, let me come back and get you. And I'm like, okay.
No, this is like watching a reality show and you're like, don't take him back.
It's like
Brody
that dumb
Jenner is a
blonde.
dick, stop it.
And like, so freaking, he comes back, he explains, he's like, I just like looked so bad. I didn't want that to be the first impression of your friend of me. Like, just going on and on. And my friend, after he had left, was like, bitch, if you go back to him, you're fucking crazy. Like, he's psycho, randomly gets mad, just crazy ass like episodes like this. I'm like, okay, this is getting sketch.
His dick is so big. When it works.
When it works. And so, and mind you, because of all these episodes, I still have my Tinder. I'm still doing my motherfucking thing because I'm like, if you're not gonna show that you're gonna be a real like dude and you're not gonna be committed to me, then I'm gonna have my Tinder. So, and see other fish and until you get your shit together. So I'm doing that. And that's just kind of where it all goes wrong because he's doing this too. And like, obviously we're not aware of this. Like, oh, I'm gonna keep my Tinder, you keep yours. But you could just tell there was no trust there, and it was just constant back and forth of like, I can't trust you. You look at how many followers you have on social media, look at what you post, like all these guys wanting you. I can't handle all these guys wanting you.
Sorry, bye.
And I'm like, girls want you. Like, I'm not mad about girls wanting you.
The difference is because you know the men want you. He's just an insecure douchebag.
I know, I'm like, okay.
You know you're hot.
keeps
I'm not gonna tell
blaming
you
it.
that 5,000 times.
And he keeps blaming it on these past relationships. I've just been cheated on and hurt, and I know what it's like to date pretty girls like you. And I'm like,
So is his number still in your contacts?
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's blocked on everything.
But he's blocked on everything else. So have you like chatted since? Is it really cut off, or you just kind of keep him hanging around?
Well, it like had kept going, and then we finally had this like falling out that happened recently.
What could possibly
Shows
be
his true
worse
colors.
than any of this?
So as we're like,
Because he hasn't showed his true colors already, Landon.
So they are really scary. And so we keep seeing each other and we just keep getting in these fights every so often. And I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? Come to find out, he does steroids. So, okay, popping Molly on the first date, leaving me on days of funerals on a date, telling me he does steroids. So I'm like, okay, no wonder you have freaking rage, freaking road rage, or not roid rage. And I'm like, okay, this explains your psychoticness. And so we're just going back and forth, and we keep doing this, seeing each other and then getting in a fight, see each other, get in a fight. And then I'm running into other girls who've talked to him, telling me they went through the same thing, he's crazy. They called him names, he was calling them names. I'm like, okay, then I'm about to be done with this dude. And so, I'm in love with somebody else. And so I was finally just what am I doing wasting my time with this guy, this freaking piece of shit steroid person who treats me like shit. So I'm cutting him off, cut off. So I'm cutting him off. And so I'm cutting this dude off and he's like, why aren't you into me all of a sudden? Fight, what the hell is happening? You were just
What could I have possibly done to make you not like me?
I can't handle this mental abuse anymore. Calling me names, calling me a man, the C word. You do steroids, you're just psycho. I don't care how cute you are. And then once I'm finally I'm done with you, he hits me with I'm gonna change for you, I'm sorry. I love you. Tells me he loves me.
God, no.
And so then I really just start to feel bad. And I'm like, oh my God, maybe we can just work on it a couple times. And I was like, no more fighting or I'm officially done for the 4th time. So,
because this reminds me of a showman's on Big Brother when a guy is just playing with this emotional girl just because he knows he's gonna have her vote. He knows she's gonna do whatever he wants.
Right?
Don't be that girl, Landon.
I know, but I just couldn't help it.
So he's
Stigmatized.
And he's like, I love you. And I'm like, what's that? What's love? No, I'm just kidding. I'm like, I do not feel that way about you. But I'm like, oh, he's changing. He's always gonna change. So I'm like, let's do it. This is the final straw. So we're finally getting back together. Mind you, like I said, I'm in love. I really do have my eyes on someone else. And I'm really serious about them. And part of the story, with the Chad, this is where the trust was. We were never friends on social media. He'd let me follow him for a day, then delete me. Delete me off Snapchat, delete me off Facebook. We can never be friends on something for more than a freaking day. He'd get mad and then just delete me. So finally, so that's where it did. And so he's like, I'm gonna change. So we add each other back on social media. Things are going okay, we're going on dates. He really is being different. And I'm just this really sucks because I like somebody else now because you took too long to fucking get your shit together. And so we're finally friends on everything again, doing things good. And this is where shit hit the fan for the last time, and this was the final straw, seriously. We're at his house, and we're laying in bed just talking, after a good night, we had dinner, we're just chilling in his new apartment, and we're just sitting there, and we're just laying there, and I could tell something, had made him mad, and he's, the type of dude, gets mad over anything. I could post a photo with, my freaking, some cleavage, and he'd, block me on everything, or tell him about, oh, my friend Derek tried this new video game, you should try it, and be like, I can't handle all the guys all over you. And I'm like, okay. So we're laying in bed, he's being really weird, I'm trying to cuddle and be cute, and usually he's all about that and isn't acknowledging me. And so I'm finally just sitting there and I'm like, what's your problem? And I don't know what that did. Gets up, starts cussing me out, and he's like, get the fuck out of my house, you can walk home. Mind you, I'm in Liberty, backwoods, freaking sketchy apartment, don't know where I know where I am, but it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Who's gonna come?
There's an Uber,
Because I'm not calling my mom, I don't have Uber downloaded. So
none of us should have Uber downloaded anymore, but we're not gonna get into that.
Try Lyft. No, I'm just kidding. So he's screaming at me, get the fuck out, I'll take you where you can find a ride, going off on me. And I'm like, what the hell? So I'm screwed, it's 2 in the morning, I'm texting my friends, they're asleep. I'm not gonna text my mom, she would die. So I'm literally just freaking out and just packing my stuff while he's literally cussing me out. You're a slut, you're a disgusting like B word, you're a C word, you're a whore, you're disgusting. Just like letting me have it. And I'm just like I'm like taking my time to get like dressed, like I'm in pajamas. So I'm like putting my shoes on, putting back my outfit, and just like, thank you, you're so nice. Just kind of like feeding, like just letting him be a jackass because I didn't really care at this point because I'm like, dude, I'm over you. So I'm like getting it together. He's still yelling at me. So I'm walking out the door and I'm just like, I have a ride. And he's like, do you need me to take you? I'm like, nope, get away. I have somebody. And so I finally am just like done. I'm like leaving. I'm walking down these apartment stairs. We're on the freaking top floor. Walking down, trying to get away. I'm just like, I cannot deal with him anymore. He's screaming at me like slut, whore, bitch, tramp. Just going on. And so walking down, I'm about to go around the corner and I don't have a ride at this point. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna walk. There's this bowling alley really close. I'm just gonna try and walk there. Mind you, this apartment complex is next to a highway, so I'm like literally gonna walk on the side of the highway. So I'm trying to get away from him. He's like, wait, Landon, I'll take you. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I see him start to walk down the stairs to come get me. So I turn the corner, and the minute I turn the corner, I start sprinting like away from this guy because I was just like, I cannot do this anymore.
Right.
I was like, because literally right before his freak out, I don't know if y'all are religious or anything, I'm laying in bed and I knew something was wrong with him. He got up to go pee, and I was like, God, let me know now if this is gonna work or if it's not. And then 2 seconds later, we have this fucking episode and freak out. So it was a sign I needed to quit him.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I turned the corner.
That was the sign. That was it, Landon.
Out of
That
the
was
20.
the one.
Okay. And so the minute I hit that corner, I dart like the Flash. I'm like sprinting, like my bag is open, my little night bag. I'm like, like damsel in distress. I just don't want him to see me. I don't want him to catch me. I don't want to deal with him. I dart across the complex courtyard. Don't see him behind me. I'm like just running so hard. I guess my bag is open too, so I'm sure I'd lost stuff. And I hear a truck that's on, so I run up to this truck. I'm like banging on the door. This guy's just smoking a cigarette, and he's like, sees this fucking scary trainee bitch with no eyelashes on come to his door.
Eyelashes.
I had no eyelashes. Like, gonna be cute.
Her bald little lips.
I know. I wasn't like, give me a ride. I was just like, give me a ride. Like, not cute at all. And I'm like, please let me in your car. Like, I was like, can you please take me to the bowling alley up the road? Like, I'm really sorry, because I was like, it's always busy. It was a Tuesday night. They're busy on Tuesdays, and I was like, I have to have some friends there that can take me. And so he's like, yeah, sure, get in the car. Like, being rude. And I'm just kind of like,
Being rude.
What if I was getting like kidnapped or
Why
something?
didn't you say there was this creepy man following me? Anything, I'll do anything.
Right, I was just
Any
like,
guy
let
will
me
do
in.
anything for a damsel in distress.
I know. And so I'm like, let me in. I'm being chased. Like, meh. And so he's like, sure. And lets me in his car. He's like smoking a cigarette, not really caring. And I was like, I swear I'm not on drugs. Like, I don't do drugs. Like, I'm fine. I just got in a really big fight with this guy. Guys fucking suck. Like, going on to him. He's like, and like, we're driving. Mind you, this bowling alley's like not that far if you drive. And so we're like pretty much almost done. I'm like, do you want me to pay you? Like, I can pay you like $5 or $10. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. Thinking he would just like give me a free ride since it was like 2 seconds. But you know.
You offered, bitch.
I know.
You
I
offered.
know. I fucked up. I couldn't right. This car didn't run on friendship.
Good for him. He's like, bitch, this is not
So
a cab.
I'm like, fine. So I give him $5. It was the least I could do to escape my freaking serial killer. And I'm running, or I'm in the car. I'm like, I'm not a creeper. I'm not like a druggie. I swear I'm fine. Like, I just had a big fight. Takes me to this bowling alley, and I get in the bowling alley, and there's like new trade there, like cute boys. I'm like, I cannot look like this at this bowling alley. So I'm like trying to get dressed. We need to have a moment of silence for this. I like go to dig in my bag to like put my chicken cutlet in to like make my boobs look a little bit bigger, you know?
Priorities. She lost a chicken cutlet.
So I'm just freaking out, like, now I'm flat chested and I don't have a boy toy anymore, and I got chased and I got in a car with a stranger, like freaking.
She lost a chicken cutlet.
I did lose a chicken cutlet, so I had to get new ones, as you can see, so. But yeah, I had to get new ones. I was really sad. Those were my favorite chicken cutlets, and I didn't get the same pair. But so I'm waiting at the bowling alley and trying to get a ride. No one can take me. I didn't feel comfortable. They were all drunk, these people there, because it's a bar and bowling alley. So even picked me up and he took me home. And the whole ride was like, you're a slut, you're a bitch, blah, 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 blah. Because I had no other choice. I was like, oh well, just take me home.
I tried to escape you, just come back and get me.
Yeah, you know, because I'm just stupid. And I was like, you know what, it's a free ride. I'm not paying for no Uber when I have a perfectly good car. Even though he could have killed me, drove us off the road, broke my neck, whatever, this is steroid person. So we're driving home. He continues to bash me, call me all these names, and I just pull out my phone and start sliding through my Tinder. In front of him, I'm like, whatever. Just trying to ignore him, and he's just like, you're a piece of shit. I really cared about you. I'm like, uh-huh. And he dropped me off, and I blocked him on everything. Anyway, so he finally drops me off at home, and I like block him on everything, and he's pissed, and I'm like, and he's like, see you soon. Like he's about to come back and haunt me. I'm like, not see you soon.
So what is the moral of the story for all of our watchers?
Looks are not everything. And know your freaking worth. Like, I don't know, like, I don't even know. And he wasn't even that awesome, so I don't know why I kept going back, but I don't know. I think I was like into the chase.
A lot of dudes have big dicks. You don't have to settle for one that treats you like shit. You can find a good one.
And it's not even like it was that big anyway, but still, it just sucks, like, whatever. I don't even know, maybe it was the chase I liked. I felt like I was in a movie, like a James Bond.
She's ridiculous. I love it. I loved having you here, Landon. I love this story. It was a really great story.
Yes.
It's funny. It's like watching your younger self, like, live their life of thought and bopping, and you're like, I wish I could just tell you now that this is not how it goes. I wish I could tell you. But you know, live your life, experience your things, learn from all of this, be safe. Be safe always. Tinder can be scary. Well, thank you for joining us this week on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I'm Heidi Banks. This is Landon Patterson. You need to subscribe to the Hamburger Mary's YouTube page and come and join us again next week.
Don't forget to subscribe to all my social media as well. It will be in the description. I would love to hear from you guys.
Thank you so much. Wave goodbye to the people.
Bye.